Truth is, almost everyone uses headphones, but the other truth is not all headphones are made for everyone. Introducing JLab, headphones as versatile as you are. JLab's diverse collection of headphones has something for everyone in every moment. For travel, you can use Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones. For the smallest fit ever, check out the JBuds Mini. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code Iliza for 15% off your order today.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Lemonada.
Ask me. Ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them. We'll read them. Then we'll give you answers. You know it. I've got it. I've got the answer. The answer. You ask me. I'll tell you anything.
Well, I guess people have seen it by now. Spent my afternoon at Home Goods making one of those videos, like, come along with me for a quintessential Memorial Day celebration. And it is boggling. The amount of repurposed Christmas paraphernalia that they just paint different colors for different seasons. Like gingerbread houses for Easter and 4th of July. There was a nutcracker painted blue for 4th of July, which is incredible if it's one that you own that you just repaint.
Yeah.
But this thing where we've just become like one homogenized homuncula of a holiday, like an Easter wreath.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense. But I draw the line at a gingerbread house.
Who's cracking all these nuts? It's modern days. You can buy them cracked.
Nobody sits by the fire and cracks nuts.
They got a pile of chestnuts that they're cracking. No.
I don't even think the mouths open anymore. I don't even think they have the little levers in the back. But just the amount of stuff. It's so sad. And I feel like other countries follow suit. Like the Chinese have Costco now. But like, I feel like European countries, which are small, look at us and they're just horrified that you have not one, but 3 different options of neon French bulldog statues at a Home Goods. And then there's the food aisles, which are always very upsetting.
Yeah. Is the food there like a TJ Maxx food where it's TJ Maxx? A TJ Maxx food? Okay. Where it's like a biscotti and you're like, what is this? Why is this here?
I guess for the most part, it's food that's meant for entertaining. Like, I guess I get like it's a bag of dried hibiscus because maybe you want to float it in a drink. But then there's like keto-friendly baking powder, chili. Like it's all like it's all gift basket food. It's all food that's meant to look beautiful, but not really meant to be consumed because I guess it's technically food in that you can eat it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't. And a lot of wooden trays that when you go there, you're like, do I need this? Like full disclosure, I had 3 items in my cart that I ended up putting back because I didn't feel like waiting. I didn't feel like dying online.
Yeah.
I had plastic cups because we don't have a ton of plastic cups. They had little sardines painted on them, little canned sardines, which was cute. And then I got some glasses, like for juice glasses. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And a picture frame, which I do always need. But I didn't get anything because you actually don't need anything. Certainly not a flamingo watermelon side-eye glance themed margarita tray upheld by a sea turtle with a shell for a back pulled from the sea, atop a strawberry themed pitcher of a vanilla candle. Just like a lot of stuff and everything. You're in there and you're like, I see how women get into this. Like I see how you like tchotchkeify your whole house. And I see how men are just like, yeah, it's whatever. I live in a house filled with miniature sailboats because we live by a lake.
Do they have those, I've seen sometimes on Instagram, those stools that look like food where it's like an ice cream sandwich, but it's a stool?
Oh, they go hard with those. Like that is a SKU that they have leaned into. And obviously people are buying them because every time I go, as a joke, I see another type. So today I saw one that was a multicolored bear, and then I saw one that was hidden, but it was grapes, but the top was flat. Last time I saw all different kinds of fruits. They have hamburgers. I mean, they just think these things are a riot. You can put it in your rec room here in Missouri. It's a food theme where it's for a kid's room.
I mean, I've seen people collect. There's something about that. If I had a big McMansion in the middle of nowhere where I just had all of these open spaces, like sprinkling in, like, this is a macaron and it's a chair. Like, I could probably get sucked into that, but I just, where am I going to put it? Just in the middle of the floor? I don't have space for a bunch of little fun chairs.
I'm still reeling from your pronunciation of macaron.
Well, how'd I say
it? You shortened macaroni. You're like, it's a macaron.
Is that guy's name, that French guy?
Macron, the president? Oh my God. There's a macaroon, and then there's a macaron, and then there's whatever you just said. There is a woman on Instagram I saw, and her, like, she was like, she has an apartment, so not a lot of room. And she was like, here's how I style my stools. And she found places for every single one of those stools. She's got like a donut corner, a fruit corner, the cookie corner. And it's not great looking, but it's not as bad looking as I would imagine.
There is something fun about it, but it is like, if I went to someone's house, I'd be like, oh, do I need to have it?
No. It's whimsical for a second, but after the third stool, you're like, oh, you have a mental illness.
Right. Unless you're sitting on every one of those stools. I do like the idea somebody has 10 stools and every day they're like, I'm going to sit on, you know what? I'm feeling the ice cream chair today.
Feeling creamy. You know what it is? It's for a kid's restaurant and that's it. It's for like a cute corner in a school. I was like, and you can sit on the fun chair.
Like an expensive daycare. Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm not going to say her name just in case, but I'm writing a script with this woman who we've been writing a script for about a year, and she is a teacher, and she's actually leaving her teaching job, but she had to take, we had a call with one of our executives, so she had to take the call at school, like while the kids were like at some kind of break or recess. And so she was, you could tell she was at a school because there was all this like kid art behind her, and there was a sign on a bookshelf that said, "Cozy Corner is closed." And she was like, I'm sitting in the cozy corner. Just the idea that like, cozy corner is closed. The fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Let me in. I want to be cozy.
Take out the trash. And then this cozy corner is open. I made it sexual.
Is that like if your husband takes out the trash?
Yeah, it's a corner at the corner of leg and leg.
Have you seen the movie, I'm sorry, Geely with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck? Where
it's a good thing that you specified the Geely with Jennifer Lopez, lest we think it was the made-for-TV Geely.
Classically, famously, there's a scene where they're like talking about Thanksgiving dinner and she spreads her legs and goes, gobble, gobble.
That's so awful. And the fact that more people don't know that. This camera just keeps drifting.
It has a button where you can lock it, and I need you to press that.
Tell me.
Look at it.
What that button is.
Is there a button on there with a lock on it?
I don't know what that means, Emily. Is this it? I don't know. Oh, maybe I did it. Maybe it was.
Press and hold the trigger button, maybe.
I can't do this. People don't want to hear this.
Okay,
let's move on.
But these are.
This looks good.
Basic human abilities. Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's fucking not.
To be handed any piece of technology and go, I wonder if there's a way to lock this. Yeah.
No. Basic ability implies that like it's walking, like we all like innately know how to do this. No, I don't know how on this random camera to lock it. What I want to know, I want to turn on this camera and be like, why can't you just sit still? Why are you drifting?
You want to fight with this
Fast
drifting camera?
Osmo drift.
Why aren't you in the Fast and Furious movies? You need to get your agents on that. You should be in the next one.
Sure. Anybody want a middle-aged Jewish woman?
Yeah.
Argue in court why you should keep your car? I've never seen any of those movies. I don't know if I'm the demo.
You think they go to court and talk about keeping their cars? No, they're doing heists.
I was trying to think of a role for a Jewish person.
Oh.
In a Fast and the Furious movie.
You would drive
the person
car.
On the crew that's just like cautious. Sure.
The nerds.
I'm ready for the questions.
There's two nerds.
I'm ready for the questions.
Okay. I want to start with a question from our Patreon, because while it's something that we've circled around and discussed, I think it's a good idea to revisit it now. Many of your fans came here from your stand-up, from seeing you live. You provide a live experience. Let's talk about those live shows because someone wrote in and said, I have VIP meet and greet tickets for your next show in Dallas. What's the meet and greet vibe? How long do we have? What are some do's and don'ts? Eliza,
I think I answered that one.
Okay, you answered it in writing, but I want to bring this to the, and you
Well,
answered it in
sometimes you
writing
say,
behind
and
the
you
paywall.
answered it.
I'm sorry.
You're being a
you
real jerk
answered it.
today. You keep talking over me and it's driving me nuts. And then you scolded me about this camera and then you looked up the answer and like didn't give it to me. So I don't know what power trip this is.
I looked up the answer and it says you can use lock mode.
I don't know how to engage lock mode, just like you don't.
I could, if I was there physically, I could figure it out. Like
Oh my
what
God,
I
you
could
can
pick it up.
physically click image on Google.
Do you think I know any of the buttons on this? No, but I figured I
When you
figured it
emailed me
out.
asking me advice about a career question, I wasn't like, if I were there, I can do it. No, I put my feet in your shoes and I thought about it and just taunt someone. You're being a mean nerd.
A mean and a nerd, the worst combo.
Yeah.
I do always think of Tina Fey realizing she was a bully in 30 Rock. Like, you could be a nerd and also a bitch.
100%. In fact, most bitches are like mean nerds in troll sections. It's rarely like a hot, fulfilled woman.
No, right. It's like just because you are a nerd doesn't mean you're a good person. Like, you could also suck and maybe you weren't popular because you suck.
I work in comedy. That is the bulk of people performing and
the
working.
bulk of men. So
mean little nerds. Well,
mean little nerds.
I'm sorry. There are plenty of mean, nerdy women in comedy who blame other people. There are plenty of that like beta alty, like shitty vibe.
I didn't deal with them as much. I dealt with more men. Why aren't you
thought you
taking
were
more
one of them.
pictures of me?
All
Why
right.
aren't I being posted on the Instagram? Because you're only here because you're friends with a more famous comedian, half of you. Okay, let's go back to your fans coming to VIP shows. Maybe it's their first meet and greet ever. They're going to meet you. They're wondering what's up. How do they?
Sure. Okay.
What's
Okay. It's super chill. Look, this is something that you buy. These meet and greets are you have to purchase them. And I always try to honor the fact that somebody paid for this. Sometimes people don't know they paid for it and they're just in line and they're like, hey, thanks for doing this. I'm like, oh, you bought this. Like, this was not out of the kindness of my own heart. In fact, if I could, I would make it more expensive because as incredible as it is to meet fans, I do get very sick and it can be tiring, but I don't want to price gouge. I don't want to do that to people. And so we have it priced, I think, completely appropriately. And I try to honor that. So I try to give you a minute if you want to tell me something or if you want to give me something, be it a gift or a letter. Of course, you do not have to do that. Or if you have like a pose you want to do, a lot of fans come ready. Like, I want a hoof or a she-dragon or a party goblin is the most popular one, or put your back against mine. So I just try to make sure to give people, I'm just going to try to break this camera. I try to give people a moment and honor the fact that they're there. If you're crying, I try to give you a second. If you want to retake the picture, like, that's your moment. You know, we can't go too long because there's other people waiting in line, but that's it. Some people you think is going to be fine and you get there and then you get super nervous. That's totally normal.
I get nervous.
I will never be, you never have to be like afraid to meet me or intimidated or anything. And you can say whatever you need to say. We'll take the picture. I try to gauge it appropriately.
Did I tell you how mad I was when I was meeting Angie Harmon, when I was getting my photo taken, the pro photo with her and Lorraine Bracco? Someone behind me passed out. They were so nervous.
People do that. I've had people not pass out, but definitely cry.
Yeah.
And I try to be sympathetic to that. You know, this is a big deal for some people. For others, it's not. I've had people that are like, I don't want a picture. I just want to say hi. It's your time. And my biggest pet peeve is when people get up to me and they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, it's not about what I want. I don't care. I meet so many people. I care about this interaction, but if you don't care, I certainly don't. I'm not like, oh, I was really hoping we could do a pyramid. Taking 150 pictures between shows.
Yeah, I will say as someone who attends a lot of stuff like this, it's fast, it's quick. You know, there's a line of people, you go up and you're never going to say.
Not furious.
It's not furious. You're never going to say what you say. Like, I'm like, what am I going to say? And then I get to front and I'm like, hi, I like your work. Bye. You know, it is what you make of it. But Iliza, you're very, you're a calming presence. You know, you're
said no one ever, but I try to be because I'm done.
Fast in this instance. Yeah.
We have done it We have done it before. We do the show. And I really don't like when people are like, sorry, you have to do this. I don't have to do anything.
Right.
I'm a comedian. I don't know what about me gives you the impression that I am forced to do anything that I don't feel like doing. I want to do it. I like doing it. And when I don't, I won't. But this is not like I have some boss and they're like, you better get out there and shake hands. Like I am here of my own volition.
Right. And you do it specifically this way with a cap and a price so that you get sick a little less. Like there are considerations that go into it.
Yeah. So that's that. So come on up and have fun. It's fun. People have a great time.
Yeah. And I would say just in general, at these shows in the VIP line, you're going to meet other people that are into the same things as you. So it's a cool chance to like see other fellow fans.
Yeah. We make the line go as fast as we can. We try to crank through it. I have music playing. I really care about your experience and I will see you there. Don't be scared.
A little scared. What are you going to do?
Hey, Julia Louis-Dreyfus here. If you listen to me on my Wiser Than Me podcast, you probably already know that I'm an investor and an evangelist for the Mill Food Recycler. There are a lot of reasons to love Mill, but for me, it's all about the impact. Keeping food out of the garbage is one of the most powerful things we can do to help the planet every single day. We're talking banana peels, carrot tops, old takeout. When that stuff heads to the landfill, it becomes a huge driver of climate change. If you already compost, great. But of course, there's the smell, the flies, the running to the curb every day with a little leaking compost bag made of cornstarch. That's where Mill comes in. It makes keeping food out of the trash as easy as dropping it in. It can handle nearly anything, from a turkey carcass to like 20 avocado pits. It works automatically while you sleep. You can keep filling it for weeks and it never, ever smells. Mill makes dry, nutrient-rich grounds that you can use in your garden, add to your compost, feed to your chickens, or Mill can get them back to a small farm for you. But you kind of have to live with Mill to really get it, and that's why they offer a risk-free trial. Go to mill.com/wiser for an exclusive offer.
So here's something I was thinking about recently, right? We all wear headphones, but for the most part, people tend to use one of two kinds. Either the big cans that go over your head and they make your ears sweaty, or the brand that rhymes with rare bods, right? The truth is, we deserve headphones as versatile as we are. Meet JLab. Their headphones come in so many different colors, and they have different headphones for every type of activity you might be doing, because headphones aren't one size fits all. For travel, you could do the Epic Lux ANC over-ear headphones, super comfortable and sleek looking with the longest active noise canceling playtime at 60 plus hours, right? That's enough for a connecting flight and then some. For walks or working out or physical activity, there's Epic Sport ANC 3. These are a secure fit. They're not going to go popping out when you're jumping around, and a long battery life. That's 68 hours plus. Hopefully you're not working out that long. And for those of you with tiny ears, for the smallest fit ever, check out J-Buds Mini. They fit on your keychain and they're smaller than a coin. JLab has so many versions of headphones for all the different versions of, well, you. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com and use code Iliza for 15% off your order today.
You also have a complaint on the Patreon, on the paid Patreon.
It's about time.
Iliza, I'm confused. I started following you for the elder millennial solidarity, but now I fear there's a betrayal at foot. Slouch socks, really? We are the no-show sock generation, and yet here you are, channeling your inner 80s jazzercise instructor meets retro Hooter server. Is this fashion revival real? Am I supposed to switch out my sock drawer? Now, you showed off your slouch socks in, I believe, a Patreon. Oh, you've got them out again. Yeah. This is your new thing. I think you showed them off in a Patreon exclusive as well.
I don't keep my ear to the ground for every trend, because then you look like a grandma in like low-rise jeans. But I think at 42, while I still have some sense of coolness and sexuality and pop culture in me, I'm going to do the trends that appeal to me. There are plenty that don't. Socks are not something that I feel I need to cling to for my identity. I happen to like the slouch sock. I think it looks cool to wear with like a longer pair of workout shorts and a sweatshirt. It's very Princess Diana. And if anything, we are returning to the look that was rightfully ours, being that we grew up in the 90s. So Gen Z are the interlopers appropriating from a past generation, and we deserve full access to every trend we've been privy to by virtue of the fact that we were on the planet for it during that time.
Fair.
So that's it. However, save those no-show socks. Say that 6 times fast because they will be back in soon and you don't want to have thrown them all out because you bought a 12-pack of Hanes off of Amazon. Keep them and use them next year.
I don't like a no-show sock. I think I only have one pair, but I need more coverage.
You need more leg coverage?
Yeah. Need more ankle coverage. All right.
I mean, Noah always makes a joke about like men wearing them. Like, you think I have no socks on, but joke's on you. I'm wearing little booties. Like, what are we trying to...
What's
is the idea that
secret?
socks are so ugly? I mean, I would also argue that like socks showing have been around since the 70s when you could wear high ones. And then hipsters, you know, like we all wore like skateboarder like socks, like with the athletic stripes around them. And it's always been kind of cool to like see the top of your cool socks. So I think we're in a place right now where anything goes because everything is on fire. So it's like, yeah, just fucking wear whatever. I always wonder like what would be so weird and out of fashion that people would be like, no, there's something wrong with you. Like I was watching Cheers last night and I was looking at Diane's hair and I'm like, there's probably some overgrown hipster who could get away with that in like Brooklyn or Echo Park, but it's still weird. You would still be like, something's weird with that.
The hair from that show, and I've seen not an episode, not a single one.
It's great.
But Kirstie Alley's hair was always
I'm not there
always
yet.
on point. Okay.
I'm not there yet. She's not in the show yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
But yeah, she was beautiful.
Stunning. We have a follow-up.
Red hot update.
From our friend Suzanne, the high schooler. Now, if you
you
recall,
wrote back.
Suzanne wrote back.
You
now,
want to give a recap?
Yes. So the situation was she is someone that people trust with their secrets. She is in high school. She has a male friend, H, who has just entered college. H is secretly sleeping with A, who is a new friend. A confided this to our question asker, and our question asker is like, H would be really mad if he knew that I knew this. So do I tell him? And we're like, no, don't get involved. But also, what's H's deal? Why does he want it to be a secret? Why is he so weird?
We were and still are, no matter what she says. I'm like, he's sleeping with someone who's legally underage, and that's what the big deal is. So let's hear her answer.
Suzanne says, H has been leading A on for 2 years, which I knew. Now, this is your good friend, Suzanne.
No.
H, being manipulative, all that stuff. But now all of a sudden, he's decided she's the girl of his dreams and she wants to go out with him too. So we're all just waiting until he asks. They're both busted, probably perfect for each other. But would I be complicit in and morally responsible for his lying and manipulation if I didn't tell her about the other 2 girls she doesn't know about? He's still with one of them as far as I know. Thank you. You are my lifeline and my comfort and my eternal big sister. So I just need to say, Iliza, Suzanne was really selling H last time. He's her good friend, but he just wouldn't want her to know. Now she's going, he doesn't want anyone to know we're sleeping together because he's sleeping with 2 other girls. H sucks.
By the way,
Suzanne,
you are one of those girls. That's what you don't want to tell us. I bet you are one of those girls.
Not Suzanne. No, H is a bad man. Yes,
but let's say
for
a second, you're not one of those girls. Women who hold male relationships over female relationships always get screwed in the end. Now, you are not actually friends with her. You are friends with him.
They're new friends. Yes. Yeah. So
you're not friends with her. You're friends with him, and you are wanting to be the girl in his life. That's what this is. Maybe not date him. You love being the best friend to a boy who's probably very handsome, kind of a piece of shit. You love holding his secrets. You love being like his little pet. It's not good for girls to betray other girls. This girl seems like an idiot, but that's what young girls do. That's what all women do. People get led on. She really loves him. I think it actually doesn't matter. Karmically, it would be good for you to be like, by the way, here's what I know. If he gets mad at you, like you betrayed me, be like, you're a piece of shit. You can say those things to men. It is a very guy thing for him to hold that over you. Like, I can't believe you betrayed me. But you don't want to be in the middle of this. You don't. So if you care about her, let her know. Or you can say to him, like, dude, I don't want any part of this. And you're making me party to it because you're making me hang out with her and I am actively keeping a secret. He doesn't care about your feelings because if he did, he would not ask you to hold this for him. And you kind of don't care about this girl, but the whole thing is bothering you and now you're complicit. So I say blow it up. Either way, it doesn't matter because this guy is not a quality person and she's irrelevant.
Right. You're saying like, oh, they're perfect. Like they should be together. Like he's just been waiting to ask her, but he's sleeping with two other
there is
women.
no waiting.
He's a scum.
By the way, he's just a young guy. There is no waiting. And you will learn this as you get older. And every woman knows this, but doesn't listen to it. If he wanted to, he would. Okay?
Yeah.
My husband, when we met, would be cooking himself dinner. And if I texted him at 11 at night, like, hey, do you want to go out? He would just throw that dinner in the garbage and he would come and meet me and act like he was totally free. If he wanted to, he would. So what he's hoping to do is have sex with all these people and then hang out with her when he's like bored and done. Just move away from this. It's garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Suzanne.
Don't write back unless you did what we said.
You can write back.
But tell your friends to listen.
Tell those other high schoolers.
Because remember,
we are Big Sister.
Okay. We have one with a title. It's on Patreon, but they put a little title at the top. Business hugs. How do I get out of hugging people in professional settings? It happens all the time. After some point of knowing each other through enough meetings and getting along fine, next time around, both men and women have stopped waving or handshaking and have switched to opening their arms to go in for a hug. Yuck.
Ugh.
I am a low touch kind of friend in person and only touch those I'm very close with. Probably a whole other thing to unpack, but with the professional peer pressure to not call attention to the situation, I typically just give a weak, one-armed, loose hug and go on with the meeting. I hate doing it, but it's a pretty normal thing in my city, San Antonio.
The hugging city.
Yeah.
Remember the hug.
What is a way to say, I hate hugging you, please stop professionally? I want to keep the relationships friendly without making myself out to be a weirdo or killing the camaraderie they think we have to always hug me on sight. Is there something funny I can say to get my point across? I'm not a hugger. Sincerely, don't hug me.
It's so tough because we have like learned nothing from COVID.
Yeah.
And especially, I always thought it was like a California thing. Like, yeah, let's hug. And it's weird that some people read body language. I literally had a male comic hug me who I don't know the other day. He's like, what's up? And I was like, oh, are we hugging? And like, there was no radar on him that was like, I'll back up. Gives me, and I'm like patting him. I'm like, you can do a couple things. You can put yourself toward the end of the meeting, like on the other side of the table and just be like, okay, friendly wave. Like you can put your body far enough away that it's not easy.
Yeah.
You can also, when someone goes in, be like, oh, I don't want to, I'm getting over being sick. And you can just say that every time.
Yeah.
You could just say that I'm getting over being sick. I don't want you. Oh, I'm not feeling great.
Yeah.
No one will ever challenge you on it. No one's going to be like, come on, seal the deal. Because you're not Larry David. You can't be like, I'm not hugging anymore. Like,
yeah.
I get it. But once you put up a boundary, eventually they'll stop. But I have sometimes put off body language that shows like I'm not going in. And then you've got to hold your ground while they like kind of recoil.
I sometimes I think people get off of me that I'm not a hugger and I'm not really. But sometimes when good friends are just like, yeah, you're not really a hugger, I'm like very offended by that. I'm like, well, you could hug me, but no, I'm not going to initiate a hug.
I almost never hug Jody. Like there's certain friends you do hug, certain friends you don't hug. It's almost like the better the friend, the less you hug. I think it's also okay to just be like, I don't really like hugging.
Especially when
like just that.
I don't really want one-armed.
Don't fist bump. It's for idiots.
No, but
fist bump, buddy.
I think one of the most embarrassing things on this earth, one of the most humiliating things is not being a hugger, thinking someone else is going in for a hug, so awkwardly reciprocating and they're not. And then it looks like I started it.
I don't think that happens to you that much.
It's happened at least twice.
Okay, well, that's only 2 times in your whole life.
And I'm still thinking about it because it's humiliating.
And I'm still thinking about it.
Okay, let's do a question. Hi, AI crew. So one of my best friends seems extremely unhappy in her relationship. And I'm wondering what my role as a bestie should be. We've been best friends.
We get this question every other episode.
Well, usually it's more like she keeps complaining and I'm sick of her shit. So how do I tell my friend to stop bitching? But let's see. We've been best friends for 10 plus years. We are 32/33 now. She has been dating this guy for about 7 years.
Oof.
They just had a child together this year.
Okay.
Ever since the beginning of the relationship, my friend just constantly complains about him and gets more angry each year. He's not a horrible person or anything, which is different than most of our questions. Usually it's like, this man's abusive, but they still love each other. It just doesn't seem like they're a good match. Whenever we talk or hang out, she'll literally be yelling about all the things he does that piss her off, and it's more than average venting about your partner. Another friend from our group tried to say something to her about a few years ago, and it almost ended a 20-year friendship. If you try to bring him up to her at all, she gets extremely defensive, but I have never heard her say a nice thing about the guy. Remember, this is for 7 years. Well, of course, once I had the baby, things have just gotten worse. Seems like he's not helpful and supportive. And she has told me how stressed and alone she's feeling. I feel like as a good bestie, I should be trying to help with the baby or provide some fun girl time for her. But I've been finding myself not wanting to answer when she calls or not really looking forward to our time together because it's just so negative and the same complaints I've been hearing for years. Also, whenever I want to share things about my relationship and be excited with my best friend, she shoots me down and says, just wait, you'll hate each other in a few years.
There is a special place, I know you're not done, in hell for women who deliberately or inadvertently say that to other women who are a few steps behind them on a path. I took my friend's head off the other day for this. No matter what my daughter does, just you wait. I'm like, what do you get out of that? I'm sorry your kid's fucking annoying you. Like this, like, just you wait. She's 2 terrible 2s. Then she's a 3-nager. Oh, no, like nevermore. It's 4. 5. I wish I weren't alive. 6, 6, 6. 7 is just the movie 7. Hateful 8. Like, what are you, as a woman, like, I'm sorry that I would never do that. Even if I were in a bad place, like, does it annoy me if like sometimes like Sierra won't give me a minute, but I would never be like, just you wait till she's following you everywhere. Like, and I said to my friend, I was like, what do you get out of that? She was like, no. I'm saying because like I care, I'm letting you know. And I'm like, nobody needs the fucking warning. Even if that is exactly what is going to happen, no one's going to heed that warning. It's a weird quality that women have. And she's obviously projecting on you because plenty of people are married and do not hate each other. So she's in her own hell. I just have to put that out there for moms. Do not do that to other women.
Don't want to hear
Nobody
about
wants to hear about that ever. Makes me really mad.
I feel like this is not dissimilar from the annoyance of like someone asking how old your pet is to be like, oh, they're old. Do you know what I mean? Like, or it's like, what are we? Okay, yes, correct. They're gonna die. What do you want?
Like, I'm sure a few years away from menopause, but no matter how much women warn me, I can't process that right now.
Are you
like,
not listening to Naomi Watts' information about menopause, Iliza?
No, you were listening to her anyway, and you'll listen to her read a phone book. You don't care what she's talking about. I'm just saying, like, as women, it's very hard for us. As human beings, this is why young people do stupid things. Because if we listened to older people who knew, then it would be easier. But this, like, just you wait. I'm like, cool. What do you get out of that? Other than, like, projecting your own shit?
Especially if you're happy, you're like, oh, I'm really excited. I'm going out with this guy. Well, just you in it, but he's a bitch. Okay, end of the question. What is the best thing you can do for someone like this? Tell them how you really feel and risk the backlash. Just continue to be an outlet, even though it drains me, or those are the options. I hope this made sense. Happy to provide any missing contact. Thank you so much for your advice. Anon, please.
Anon, please. Listen, it'd be different if she was fine and then she was going through this and you were there for her. But 7 years, like, we know what's going on. We know this is going to play out. And it's not your job to be a receptacle and to just feel this negativity. And it isn't as if she vents and then she's like, okay, well, tell me about you, you know? So she's in her own, and we've gotten a lot of questions like this. She's in her own private hell, her own personal hell. And when we're going through things like this, you kind of can't see your way out of it, and that it's all encompassing. You have to be willing to put yourself first. And I think if this is someone that it's your best friend and you've been friends with her for a long time, she's going to be super defensive, which is tricky. It's very hard to navigate defensive friends. Not everybody has the ability to self-reflect and really think, like, if this person who cares about me is saying this, and we're not talking about warning me about my kid, is saying this, they must be doing it from a place of love. I wonder if it's worth, I know that all of my advice is always like, just sit down and be rational. But I do think it's worth sitting down, take her to coffee, be like, I need to talk to you as my best friend. And you can say, and make sure you're right. Make sure it's literally never been a good thing about him. You know, be like, you vent a lot about Rick to me. And
fucking Rick.
If I ever say anything back, I feel like you then defend him. All the information I have about him is through your lens. And so to be a good friend to you, what do you want me to? And don't say it defensively. Like, what is it that you want me to do? Do you want me to just sit and listen? Do you want my advice? Do you want me to process it? Because I am a human being. And anytime I try to defend you or suggest anything, I think you think I don't understand or I don't know, but it just sort of leaves me unsure what to do. And you seem so upset all the time. So what would you like me to do? Like, there's a way to ask that in a way that isn't like, what do you want me to do? But there's a way to be like, how do you want me to handle it? Because it is a lot of negative information about him. And then when I try to talk to you about it, you get upset with me, but I'm only on your side. Like, put it to her like that.
It's telling, I think, that our question asker said, like, should I offer to help with the baby? I think that's very sweet that you're just trying to lighten the load, but do not, because helping with the baby needing help is not the underlying issue of this relationship. Yeah. So it's not going to solve anything. She's still going to complain just as much. That's a separate issue. You can really only be there for her, as Iliza said.
By the way, like, you're not the father. And this is your best friend, but like, you don't want to help with that baby. Like, it's fun to watch the baby for an hour. Like, you don't want to be the person that she calls, hey, can you watch her? I'm running out. Like, nobody wants to parent someone else's kid. And by the way, like, that's not your job. That's not on you.
Yeah.
There's a father there. He's a piece of shit. She might be in her own. So you're there to be on her side and help her get through it. But you're also your own person with your own life and your own goals. And like, I don't know why we get women that write into this pod, they're like, and how can I give up my everything to support this woman who has ignored every red flag and everything and doesn't actually respect me back or care about me? How can I do the most? You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but you do owe it to yourself out of friendship to sit there and be like, you are my best friend. And sometimes when we talk, it feels like you want to vent about him. And then if I say anything back, you get defensive. And she gets defensive because she's hearing her own words back. And she's like realizing, oh, maybe I said it wrong, or she's wanting to defend him. Yeah. And you have to be like, you don't have to do any of that. Like, you can be yourself with me, but like, I feel like I'm not even getting you. I'm just getting all of your frustration. And then I'm not allowed to respond. And then she'll be like, it's not that you're not allowed. And you're like, well, actually it is. So what do you want me to do?
And sometimes I do think a hard boundary from a good friend can shake things up, because I will say I'm a complainer, and I was complaining about work to a friend.
I don't think you are. I'm not joking.
I'm a massive complainer, and I was complaining about work, and my friend was like, who works with me, she's like, I don't talk about work on the weekends. And I was like, oh, totally. Yeah. And I keep thinking about that. Like, that's a good, like, yeah.
No, that's weird. That's weird to cut you off.
I think
something.
No, if I'm just bitching, I feel like
I should be your only friend.
Well, Iliza,
sure.
here's also my thought. When we get these questions, it's like, is someone out there for you and I, like, that's just like thinking like, how can I make Iliza's life easier, Emily's life? Like, should I go help raise their baby? Like, where are those people in our lives?
I think I've definitely... Look, I said what I said. And I was listening back to this podcast and I was like, sometimes I repeat myself. You can put up a boundary, but I think it's tough because you've already allowed her to do it for this long. So if you do it, it will be this weird stark thing where she's like, okay, so you don't want to hear about my life. And then it's going to feel combative because you do want to hear about her life. And if she's frustrated and you can talk about it. But the truth is, the guy is a piece of shit. As far as you know.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, oh my God, no, we grew up together, and here's his side of it. She's just constantly venting and she doesn't want your feedback. Yeah. That's the part that's shitty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you try to participate at all, she cuts you off at the knees.
Yeah.
So ask her and tell her how it's making you feel as her friend. I care so much about you. I can see that you're hurting, and just kind of let her talk, but she will get defensive, as women do. Women get very weird about defending their shitty choice in men because it's a reflection of her. And it's not about ditching your friend, but I happen to see this. I hate when my source that I cite is the internet or is Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was some woman talking to some woman, and the woman seemed like she was accredited in some way. And she basically said that women shed like half their friends every 7 years. Now, this person could be a lunatic who's selling essential oils, but it is in line with a lot of the things that I say, which is that like, it's okay to lose friends. It's okay to outgrow friends. And yes, I have a best friend that I've had since I was 3. We had years, we didn't go to school together, didn't know each other, but there's only a couple people that you're able to maintain long-term friendships with as you grow and evolve as a woman. So you don't want to shed her, but friendship has to be mutually beneficial. You have to also be getting something out of your friendship, and it can't just be good memories.
But it doesn't have to be mutually beneficial at all times, but there needs to be an ebb and flow. Like, it sounds like it's never beneficial for you.
It's not tit for tat, but it can't just be like, and I remember you growing up. At a certain point, this is going to get exhausting and you're going to feel taken advantage of. Of course, it's not mutually beneficial at all. It's never going to be even. That's what friendship is. It is a give and a take. But right now, it's just her taking for so long. And you've already heard this.
For 7 years.
It's a broken record. And then she had a baby with him. And by the way, 7 years, like you had time. Like this isn't like we dated for a little and we didn't use a condom. 7 years. Your friend's an idiot.
Yeah. That's the tough realization, I think, for most of our listeners is that their friends are stupid.
Well, it also makes you lose respect for your friend.
Yeah.
Because to know someone, you're in a relationship with a shitty person and you keep going back for more, that means you have very little self-worth. Yet I'm supposed to sit here and just be around that.
Well, that's also why she doesn't want her words parroted back at her. Because listening back to what she said, it's like, what kind of idiot would put up with that?
What kind of friend wants to hear that? Yeah. I've definitely been in those conversations where you say, like, I regurgitate back what you've said, trying to analyze. They're like, well, no, it's not actually that. I'm like, but that's what you said.
Yeah.
And so now I can't trust you. So that means, are you actually even being honest when you speak to me? And if you're not, what the fuck is the point of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go Dutch on these nachos. Not my treat anymore.
I would love to share a plate of nachos with someone right now.
So you say me.
With you. I feel like you wouldn't want to share a plate of nachos with me.
I don't want to share food with you, but
where both of our little fingers go into it. You don't want that?
But I do think those Instagram posts where it's like this and talking, where it's like, I remember that one guy, he's like, I want a fat margarita. I want chips. And I want the juiciest gossip.
That's a good day.
I don't have juicy gossip, but I do have like 3 people that Jody and I just talk shit on endlessly. And that's always, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And when we can't think of something new, we just think of all the times we've not liked those people in the past. And it feels so good. It's so harmless.
It is.
It's a victimless crime.
Speaking of victimless crimes, let's do confessions. This one is good because it's different and it's not a body fluid, but we still like body fluids. Okay. Iliza, Emily, you wanted more confessions? Here you go. Yes, we do. Send them in. Okay. Because I have recommendations for this person when we get through their confession. I have a throwaway Reddit account that I sometimes post my favorite NSFW photos to. Do you know what that is?
Not safe for work.
I don't add them
to podcast.
I don't add them. It is marked explicit, our podcast. I don't add them to
advisory issued.
I don't add them to any specific subreddit, but I comment and interact with lots of garden subreddits. So if anyone clicks my profile, they get a mix of florals and flashing. Cheers. Okay, this is so funny to me because this person is posting naked.
What just happened?
What?
That was it?
She's posting naked photos of herself to her Reddit profile.
Can you do that?
Yes, but here's the thing. She's not posting them to subreddit. So she's not going to like not safe for work subreddit and saying, look at me, or like Big Bazonga's subreddit and saying, look at me. She's just quietly putting them on her own account.
That's the thrill.
And on Reddit, a lot of the time, what people will do is if they either hate you or like you, if they see your comment and they're in like, what's this person's deal? They will go look at your post history. So they'll go to your profile and look at what you've posted. So that's when they're so she's not putting them out there. She's like, hi, if you go like, oh, she had such insights on rose bushes. Let me go see what else she's commented.
Let me go see her rose bush.
And then you see her rose bush. That's like, to me, a perfect confession because it's like so specific. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I like about it? It's empowering because you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
You're like a micro flasher.
Next step, put it out into one of the subreddits. There are subreddits for everything.
No, why does she have to take it to the next level?
She doesn't have to, but
Why can't she be a simmering pot of sexuality, just happy on her own lily pad on her Reddit page? Should you come by for tea?
Okay, and now we have a really wild confession. Not wild, but it's just like, wow, thank you for sharing this. Hi, Iliza and Emily. Now that I finally discovered the AIA podcast, I've been binging it like crazy and keep thinking I've got to send in my confession. Let me set the scene. I am a 35-year-old female whose biological father was a real piece of shit. Talking drug addict, in and out of jail my whole life, witnessed him beat a dog with a frying pan, molested my half-sister, kind of shit. So I finally grew a backbone in grad school, cut him out of my life, 2013-ish. But when I got a call that he died in 2019, I had mixed emotions because he wasn't always so shitty. I mean, of course, it's your dad. At his funeral, his crack whore ex-girlfriend from more than 15 years ago showed up.
I haven't heard crack whore in so long.
I know. It's a real elder millennial throwback.
Let's bring it back. Everyone was a crack whore forever. And I was like,
now we're not allowed.
That actually is.
We can't make fun of crack and we can't make fun of whores, and definitely not crack whores.
We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings
Yeah.
who's experiencing whorishness or crack.
Experience. She showed up with a theater level performance of grief. I saw her put a picture frame in the casket of the two of them. As the family sang their last goodbyes, the funeral home staff asked if we wanted anything out of the casket before they closed it. I said, yep, grab that picture, chucked it in the trash. They were stunned.
Love it.
I know
I
that
love
sounds
it.
horrible to do, but this chick was
No.
literally psycho. We all knew it. Bonus confession. And Iliza, this is the one that tickled me. Sitting in my car in the funeral procession line with my mom, we watched the funeral home staff drop the casket, trying to load it into the hearse, and I laughed like a drunken hyena. I might be going to hell for all this, so I just hope I don't have a room next to him. Thanks, guys.
Or with him.
I will be listening intently in hopes that my confession makes the cut.
I love it. I love it because you're right. I love it because it's a victimless crime. And I love that you snatched that thing out of the casket. Also, like, don't bury that. That's not going to break down naturally.
He doesn't get to, and you know what? She's from over 15 years ago. She doesn't get to be in there. But I just imagine how cathartic it would be. This man you have such mixed emotions about, and you watch the cast and go, "Thunk."
Yeah. One final kick.
Yeah, like good. I love that.
For me, that is great. And you kind of hope it hurt him in a weird way. You're like, yeah, I hope it jostled your dead body.
He went,
your dead fucking rotting corpse. But I like what?
There is an Instagram video, and I wonder if you've seen it. And I've seen it a million times. And it's not funny to describe one, but if you know it, you'll love it. Where they show how a baby knows when it gets home. The woman's like, look, as soon as we get to the house, he knows that he's here. And she's pushing the baby stroller, and he like wakes up right when they get to the front door. So a guy did a stitch because as soon as she gets close to the house, it's cobblestones. Her driveway is cobblestones. So the guy is pretending to be the guy's pretending to be a baby in a basket, and he's like,
Okay, like, I'm going to stop you. Just please never act out an Instagram video. Like, just, I know you committed to it, but like people are in their cars
I really
not seeing this.
Everybody was going to know it.
No.
The fact that you don't is
in their cars, just like, okay, do I just turn into oncoming
traffic? You want people to watch the video, which have we mentioned video YouTube Fridays? Unless you're a Patreon member, you get it a little early, but it is Fridays.
You get it a little early. Comes out on Fridays.
On YouTube for the masses. A little early for the Patreon people. But there's video now, and I'm setting the scene.
Is it Mission Impossible? No. But it's my face. It's Emily. I suggest, you set it up and you pretend like we're all in a conversation while you go about your daily business. And, you could see me. Sometimes you see other parts of me. Emily's mostly a floating head with octopus hair. But, we're here. Sometimes the dog comes in. I love the picture frame part. Yeah. I love a little bit of vengeance. I love it.
And the fact that you weren't like, oh, I want to keep the peace. You were like, yeah, do I want something taken out? Yeah, that tacky frame.
And she'll never know because she probably doesn't remember she did it. That's also just so unhinged to show up like that.
With a photo, like, I need to put something in the casket.
I want the attention. I hope everyone sees
Iliza, what are you going to put in my casket?
After all that, you're not getting cremated?
Oh, I am getting cremated. You're right.
All our talk of ashes?
I am getting cremated.
Okay. Soon?
Yes. I've made an appointment.
Never
mind.
I guess I'd probably put some coffee cake, maybe some Dr. Pepper.
Cake? Not Dr. Pepper.
Donuts.
You don't know anything about me.
I'm sorry. You're right.
But,
I'm sorry.
Okay, I like Coke, but Iliza, we share a love of Barks. We share a love of Barks root beer.
I will
It's
pour
something
one
we
over your
share.
grave.
Over my
Pour one out.
ashes. Okay.
Over my dead ash.
Over my dead ash.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When I think of the term mental health, I think it's a term that gets misused. I think it's a term that's overused. And I think of it as something that gets sputtered out by the internet, like, oh, I need these fries for my mental health. And somehow in our society, we've come to associate mental health with weakness or someone who needs help with weakness. And that could not be further from the truth. If you had a broken bone, you go see a doctor. So if you're having trouble or want to feel better, why wouldn't you talk to a therapist? BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And like I always tell you, you can easily switch therapists at any time, no extra cost, no weirdness, no driving across town. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/Iliza.
Okay, now we're going to pivot to a much tougher question because you know what? This show goes all over the map.
You know what?
You know what?
You know what, buddy?
And it is time sensitive. And I hope we're to you in time. Hi, Liza and Emily, longtime pod listener. Please keep me anonymous. Question. I am 4 weeks pregnant. I do not want to proceed with the pregnancy. Do I tell my partner? Context. We have been together just under a year. We have discussed marriage and children. I'm in my early 30s. He is in his early 40s. I do want children in the future. However, he is settled into his career. I'm just getting started in mine. When we've discussed this before, I've always mentioned how I would like to get started in my career before we have children. The goal of having children is in 2 to 5 years. I know if I tell him, he will want to move forward with the pregnancy. I just am not ready. I know people say you never feel 100% ready, but I really don't feel ready right now. We don't live together. Money is really tight on my end as I'm making this transition. I have always wanted to be married before having kids. I never want someone.
I don't need
we're
any
almost
more.
done. We're 2 sentences.
Oh my God. I read my answer.
I never want someone to marry me just because I'm pregnant and it's, quote, the right thing to do. So do I tell him or just go through with the termination and the notion, what you don't know won't hurt you? Thank you.
If you can't, look, no women are going to like this. There's part of me that's like, yeah, if you can never tell him that secret and feel okay about it. But here's the thing. This is a litmus test. You want to be with someone who supports your choices. You're not married. You're not living in the same thing. This isn't like you're married and you're like, no, I want to do the baby in a year. Like, then I'd be like, just do it. I don't believe in the like, you never know. You're 100% ready. That's not true. Plenty of people are 100% ready to have kids. And that is okay that you're not. You need to tell him because it's a weird thing to keep forever. And it's actually going to get worse if you like wait 5 years. You don't know. You need to tell him so that you can see he's the kind of guy that is on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to find out. And I hope that Emily read this as soon as you wrote it in versus like squirreling it away like she does for like 3 months.
I think by the time you hear this, it'll be about 2 weeks. So you'll be at about 6 weeks. So I think we're still good.
And, you know, he might be like, well, the issue is that you just told me, you didn't ask me. You don't need to ask, but you need to, it is something that you would like his support on. And honestly, he should pay for half. And
not that you need a quote unquote good reason, but you gave a few very good reasons. I mean, not being financially ready is a huge one. Not living
you don't live
together. Like this is a logistical nightmare.
You've been together a year. This is a brand new thing. That's cool that he's older. This is where you find out who you're actually in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And anything other than I support your decision is not an acceptable answer.
How do you feel? I think that he can mourn this as you would.
I said anything other than I support your decision. He doesn't have to say, I love it.
Right.
Support your decision. And here's half.
Yeah.
Here's half.
All right. Now we're going to do an Am I the Asshole? But we don't have to call it that.
Oh, we're doing this again?
I mean, no,
back?
it's a question. It's not a segment or just somebody wrote in to know if they're the asshole in a situation, which
Am
I
I
think
the
is a
butt?
little lower stakes.
How
That's
about
also
we
a
call it-
subreddit. There's an
How
Am I
about we
the
call
butt?
it, I bet I'm the butt. IBITB. I bet I'm the butt. Roll with it.
Okay.
I bet I'm the butt.
Let me ask you this and you decide if it applies.
I bet you're the butt.
Why are you assuming all our listeners are in fact the butt?
It's the listener saying, I bet I'm the butt.
No, they're saying, am I? Not, I bet I.
And it's the same thing.
No, it's not. As a
still leaves
linguistics
room-
lover,
It still leaves room for doubt.
you know what? Let's see. As a fun night out, I convinced 3 friends to join me for an all-male review show. Before it could be a very silly night out with the girls, something ridiculous happened. For context, I am the hinge friend in this situation, bringing 3 random friends together who have never met before. That is a big swing for 3 random friends.
Yeah.
One
Let's go look at these dicks.
Yeah. One
Girls.
friend, Jenny, insisted on having her husband drive us all downtown to the show after we met for pre-show drinks. Insisted.
That's cool.
We piled into the sedan with 3 of us girls in the back seat, husband and wife in the front. When we found street parking, 2 of us started to get out of the vehicle on the sidewalk side. When all of a sudden I heard a very close by crunch.
Oh, the car door.
Annie, the third friend in the back seat, opened her car door on the roadside just as a city bus was passing by. I feel sick.
Oh my God.
You guessed it. The bus slammed into the newly opened door and basically smashed it to smithereens. Thank goodness no one was injured. We went on to enjoy the evening after speaking with police and filing reports. And after
Did
the
you?
show,
That's
I know.
Don't worry, we made it to see the naked dudes.
After the show, Jenny reached out to me for the info of Annie to have her help pay the deductible as we were at fault in this collision. To my knowledge, they worked everything out and debts were paid. However, I never actually heard that all is well and that Annie had paid her portion. I knew at the time finances were tight for Annie. My question to you,
Yeah.
should I have offered to help pay some of the deductibles since it was my idea to go to the show and I'm the hinge friend?
Nope.
Maybe not coincidentally. I don't have a relationship with Jenny anymore. And I think maybe she wanted me to assume some of the responsibility for this accident. And that's why we don't speak. Should I have footed the bill or assume some of the responsibility for my friend clotheslining the city bus? Thanks for all your insights. Love the pod, you, and all the questions from fans and listeners. Love, Ivy in Wisconsin. That is the first compliment we've gotten on the questions. Thank you, Ivy.
Thank you, Ivy. Unless that friend, Annie, was it Annie?
Yes. Annie hit the bus.
Yeah, unless Annie is your daughter, you are not responsible for her.
Or your husband.
Because that could have been anybody. No, Jenny is the one with the husband. That could have been anybody who opened that door. She's an adult. She made a mistake. She did a dumb thing by not looking. We all know how to exit a car.
Yeah.
The fact that you brought her is irrelevant. We're all responsible for ourselves.
Yeah.
Jenny, it's annoying because, I'm assuming they worked it out. If they worked it out, that's even weirder that Jenny is being weird to you. But
yeah,
I don't know what to no, it's not on you. Why would that be your responsibility? Are you your sister's keeper?
No.
Are you responsible for everything else she does?
No.
That's crazy. We all agreed to go with free will. I can understand Jenny not wanting to have her over, but no. In no way are you responsible for this. It would be one thing if you brought the friend along. The friend was awful. She threw up in the back seat. You're like, I feel so bad. I guess I could help you clean this up. But she opened that door.
Yeah. And Jenny,
Actually, I don't even know if that example works.
Jenny
What
also
one adult does is no reflection of you.
No. And I think Jenny, if she could have come to you if she felt like you should have been involved, and she didn't. So if she let the friendship die, that's not on you.
Yeah, she probably just feels weird. Maybe she doesn't like that you're friends with someone that dumb. I don't know, but you're not the asshole. Jenny's the asshole, and Annie for not understanding how cities work.
Annie, are you okay?
It is. You see it all the time in LA where people are fully lobotomized and driving. They just throw their Mercedes doors open, and you're like, do other people just not exist to you? Just throwing car doors open on a busy street. You all deserve to get your doors lobbed off.
Yeah.
Lopped off?
Lopped.
Lopped. Lobbing would be throwing it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time for Top of the Cob. I beat you
It
to it.
is.
Gotcha.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day.
You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Start with bottom.
My bottom of the cob is when you get fruit and it's not flavorful. Specifically, Noah goes to the farmer's market every Sunday because he's a chef and he gets like all of his things. And there's nice berry stands, not Harry's Berries. There's other nice berry stands, but you wait in line and you get, the first berries of the season, whatever. And it's expensive. It's not the most expensive thing, but these are California grows incredible fruit. And it's just a bummer to get a batch of berries and to get them home and they aren't great. Now, a farmer can't tell. You could eat one that's good and the rest aren't, but like to get a thing of watery strawberries that like don't really have a flavor and you're like, cool, these were like $20 or however much strawberries cost. It's just kind of a bummer. It was like a premium for something great and it was just.
You can't do that about strawberries, Iliza. When the Arrested Development, the very classic meme, how much could bananas cost? $10? Like you can't do, how much could a strawberry cost? $20?
Yes, I can, because the joke's already been done. Also in 30 Rock.
No, not the joke. I just mean
$50. What's a gallon of milk? $50? $100? I did it. Nobody, who cares? That's true. This is an honest thing. I do think like a bushel of them, yeah. Fresh strawberries, like organic, fresh, locally grown, it's always going to be more expensive. It's not out of touch.
And you can get that.
Sorry, you get all your fruit at 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven wouldn't sell me fruit, would they?
Not to you, not without a card. Not without ID. All right, that's my bottom.
Our fan bottom got a lot of reaction.
By the way, any fruit. Getting any fruit home and you're like, that wasn't flavorful. I went and got it. This is bullshit.
Especially
no way to guarantee.
When you eat one that's really good.
That's what I'm saying.
And then the others,
like several duds.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll put it in a shake.
It's a trick. Okay, our fan bottom got a lot of responses. People were really feeling this one. Why does it take so long for regular nail polish to dry? I've had reactions with gel, so now I just manicure at home, and it takes so much longer than I remember from when I was in my 20s. I end up with one smudged nail, always. And people are replying like, I know you feel, you think you've waited long enough. Nope, instant smudge. Yes, this always happens. I always have to go to the bathroom when they're drying. And then someone said sometimes spraying your nails with Pam and then soaking them in ice water helps speed up the process. I don't know.
Ice water, I could see. The Pam, I don't know. It's almost as if we shouldn't be shellacking our fingernails with plastic and chemicals just to make it look like our hands are blue.
Our hands are blue.
Yeah, it never dries. It always smudges. It's always an issue. It takes so long. And I don't know why science hasn't caught up to be like, it's instant drying nail polish because it will instantly dry if it falls on your carpet.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah. My bottom of the cob, wall anchors. I think they're made up and I think they suck and I don't want to put them in. If the thing is light, I don't need to put an anchor. I'm just drilling right into the wall. This is light. This is a pound. I'm not going to put a dumbbell on here. I'm not putting in wall anchors first. Well, I'm not building an arc.
It's hard. They're hard to measure. And I agree. When I see them attached to the thing I buy, I'm like, well, I guess this isn't going up ever.
Right. Like, great. Yeah. No, I'm just putting it in directly in the wall and we'll see when it all falls down.
I'm just going to tape it up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lean it against this dresser.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be a leaning frame. Top of the cob.
Top of the cob. Doing it
twice.
Twice?
Ever. I don't know why I said twice. My top is the mirror in which I do my makeup in my bathroom. I had like beautiful lighting put in. I painted the bathroom a lovely color. I made it very feminine. I have this lovely like vanity area. The lighting is so bad in my bathroom that I always look ugly, but I always do my makeup the same. And so I guess the top is leaving the bathroom to go into the hallway mirror and every time being like, yeah, she's a pretty girl. But like knowing like just having the wherewithal to know like, oh God, and not let it be like, God, you're so ugly. Look at your pores. Look at those zits. Look at your fine lines. And then I get out into like normal light in the daylight. You're like, yep, not so bad. So starting from a place of knowing it can only get better. It's kind of a nice reveal every time I get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. I beat myself. Yeah.
And this fan top, you're going to really align with Iliza. This is not a recent epiphany for myself, but that moment in your life when you realize you'd rather have and enjoy experiences and not collect or acquire stuff or excess things, knickknacks, home decor, clothing, etc. And you slowly purge the junk and start to train yourself to shop smarter and only when necessary.
Yes, sister. Snap, snap, snap. It's true. I don't It's annoying to hear people say, I like experiences over things, because you're like, well, I kind of want some things.
Yeah.
But when you realize how much stuff, like if you've lived a life, like you probably already own it.
Yeah.
The worst is when you go to your drawer and you realize you have 5 of something that like over the years you just keep reordering.
Yeah.
Like a Tide pen.
Oh, yeah. And you can't find it. So you order more and then, okay. Yeah.
It's awful.
My top of the cob is because I live like 10 minutes from my parents and they're my only friends. Today, they're just able to, my dad dropped off some chicken salad today. He's like, we had some extra. And it's like a cold pasta salad with chicken in it and celery and stuff. And he's like, we had some extra. So we made you a little Tupperware. I left it in your fridge while I was in meetings. And I'm like, thank you. Free dinner.
I mean, next time he needs to tell you before so you don't hear someone wrestling.
They're like, we're going to come by between this time and this time. I'm like, well, I'm in a meeting at this time.
It's like, you shot me in the leg, but I hope you enjoyed that chicken. That is very sweet. I wish, I do like that Noah's parents who live down the street have a key and they just drop stuff off and it's not a big deal. It's nice. It's very, everybody loves Raymond.
It's nice when it's not intrusive.
It's not. It never is. I've never been like, she's here again, spreading joy.
Yeah.
Fuck out. All right. Folks, you can still get your tickets if you live in Southern California to my 2nd edition of Brunch of Moms. Emily just sent me a picture of her cat. I didn't ask for that. That's why I was distracted because I was seeing red. Brunch of Moms at the Irvine Improv, June 7th. And enjoy the Patreon. Please sign up for it. And now I'm going to say the word coconut without any vowels. Here we go.